Will you still need me? Will you still need me? When I'm 164, get it? Because it's so they just met Olimar. Huh? Chris heard the Primid radar beeping loudly. After looking at it, there was a high emergency of Primid activity sprouting at every because they're fucking Pikmin, sprouting at every area of the distant spring. We've got company. Primids are starting to appear all over the place. Olimar asked about what were the Primids. After explaining everything to him, he used his map from the dolphin to locate the missing parts. I have located all the missing parts, but I can see those Primids things guarding them. Also, they have possessed every beast in this place too. We should separate in groups of 3 or 2 to gather the parts. Why don't you just is there a time limit? Why don't you just all go together and so you got a more effective fighting force and just gather all the parts individually, one after the other? I mean, sure, it'd take longer, but, less chance of dying horribly. Groups. Group 1, Olimar, Chris and Lucario. Group 2, Roy, Pichu and Pikachu. Group 3, Jigglypuff and Mewtwo. Group 4, Pit, Popo and Nana. Group 1 is going to the north, Group 2 to the east, Group 3 to the south, and finally Group 4 to the west, Olimar said. Everyone formed the groups. After that, they nodded to each other and they went to different directions of the distant spring. The distant spring, north side, Forest of Hope. Fuck you! After walking about 10 seconds, Olimar, Chris, Lucario, and an army of 80 blue Pikmin saw a group of Primids surrounding the first part of the ship above a high place to reach. How are we supposed to reach that? Chris asked. Olimar saw a slope where he could throw the Primids in, so they could walk all the way up to the part beyond the Primids. So he could throw the Pikmin in. Olimar threw 30 of them, and they walked to the top of the slope. The unsuspecting Primids were looking at the wrong directions. The blue Pikmins only pushed them to the lake, and they drowned. They drowned in that height of the water? How pathetic, Chris said, frowning. Hey, people can drown in fucking puddles, if they fall in nose first. It's not impossible. Chris said, frowning. The Primids drowned from the water that was only reaching their foots. He saw Lucario... Their foots. Alright. He saw Lucario with the blue Pikmin on the top. The part of the ship was laying there, so they grabbed it, although Lucario was able to lift it with both hands. What? And the blue Pikmins returned to Olimar. Above the machine there was a fraction. Below the line there was a 20. But above the line there was 100 on it, meaning that Lucario's lift power is of 100. Alright. That means very little to me. Where should I command the Pikmin now? Olimar asked, looking around. He saw various sticks pilled above each other. He ordered the Pikmins to build a bridge with the sticks. The distant spring, east side. From the other side of the lake, Roy, Pichu, and Pikachu were hiding from a sleeping black bullbear. Okay, what the fuck is a bullbear? What's a bullbear? I don't know why that noise is apparently necessary. Bullbear. Oh, they look weird. They look weird. That's ugly fuckers. Oh, hey, look, my cursor is a bullbear. Look at that. I got a bullbear cursor. Beautiful. Where was I? Roy, Pichu, and Pikachu were hiding from a sleeping black bullbear, and it was possessed by the Primids. There was a dark aura coming from his mouth. Alright, here is the plan. You two will use thunder off both sides of that beast. Then I'll use my flare blade to burn it to a crisp, Roy said, excited. Burn it to a crisp? Pichu and Pikachu asked in unison, confused. Just go there and zap him! Roy pointed to the sleeping beast. Pichu and Pikachu walked silently towards the creature. After one was behind... What the fuck? Oh, after one was behind and the other was in my cursor just jumped down a little bit. After one was behind and the other was in front, both shouted their names, and a lightning bolt came striking them down. The intensity of the thunder awakened the Bulbear, who furiously roared. Roy came in and he used his flare blade to burn it to crisp, as he said. No, he didn't. However, it wasn't enough to destroy him. So he didn't really burn him to a crisp, or indeed too crisp, because that would have killed him. The Primids must have increased his force while he is under their control, Pichu said, running away from the black Bulborb. Bulborb? It's changing its name every fucking second. Alright, so, but how does Pichu know what its original power was? He's never played Pikmin, has he? The Primids must have increased his force while he is under their control, Pichu said, running away from the black Bulborb. The Bulborb stopped to inhale air. Then, surprisingly, he made a flamethrower from his mouth. Roy gasped when he saw the big stream of fire chasing after Pichu, but Pikachu pushed Pichu out of the way and they evaded the furious fire. Don't tell me they also gave him fire attacks, Pikachu said. Well, looks like it. I don't know. Look out, Roy! Pichu shouted to Roy. The red-haired swordsman saw the big fire-shooting Bulborb running at him. He gulped and he ran away from him. The black Bulbear... It's not even consistent within the same sentence, unless they're two different things. Which is possible, I guess, but I don't know if it's likely. Knowing AuraChannelerChris. Okay. The black Bulbear was shooting fireballs at Roy, who fortunately evaded. He gulped and ran away from him. The black Bulbear was shooting fireballs at Roy, who fortunately evaded all of them. Roy looked around for something to hide. He was running inside the pond. The Bulbear was still following him, but when the Bulbear felt the water on his feet, he looked down and... he died? Huh? What happened? Roy asked. He approached carefully to the Bulbear. He poked it with his finger on the nose, and it didn't budge. Is he dead? Pichu asked, poking his eye. Looks like it. Maybe his weakness was the water, and he died, Pikachu said. The bridge that the blue Pikmin were building was complete. Olimar came from the crowd, and he saw another part near where the Bulbear was. He ordered the Pikmin to carry the part to the dolphin. Roy, Pichu, and Pikachu followed him with the Pikmins. The distant spring, south side. To the south of the landing site, Jigglypuff was exploring the area along with Mewtwo. Stop, Mewtwo said, hiding behind a log. Jigglypuff hid along him. What is it? Jigglypuff asked. There are 3 frogs guarding a part. They are also possessed. Their strength and speed were increased too. Do you have any idea to defeat them? Yes, I do, Mewtwo said, grinning. The 3 frogs were also surrounded by a dark aura. They were just walking to any side without anything special to do, except for guarding a part of the ship. Mewtwo floated quickly between them, and they jumped high in the air to crush Mewtwo with their weights. Mewtwo passed from below them, and they crashed their stomachs into the water, making a big splash. Mewtwo's idea was... That's my favourite David Hockney painting. Shut the fuck up! Mewtwo's idea was to get them close so Jigglypuff could use her move Rest to create a chain reaction that would make them blast off to the sky. What? Then Mewtwo would use a barrage of tiny shadow balls to destroy them. For the luck of the psychic Pokemon, they landed very close to each other. Jigglypuff floated quickly at them, and she used Rest just on the middle of the group of frogs. The frogs were blasting off to the sky. What? Jigglypuff, the thing, Rest makes them fall asleep, right? Hence the name. So why do they fucking Team Rocket away out of there if they just, fuck... Best not to question. The frogs were blasting off to the sky, and Mewtwo fired several tiny shadow balls at them, but they were still living. Jigglypuff saw her opportunity and floated to the air. The frogs were still so close to each other, she used a powerful pound, and they yelled in pain. They fell on the water, and Jigglypuff landed above them. She spun and made a pose. "Show off later. We still have more work to do," Mewtwo said, floating away with arms crossed. Jigglypuff just inflated herself in rage, and she followed Mewtwo. "Oh, that's my fucking fetish, dude."